How to get his attention. 1. Stop accommodating. In the early stages of a romantic connection, what turns people off the most is desperation and neediness. Maybe you don't see it that way, but sometimes being too accommodating and agreeable can send the signal that you're needy. There's nothing wrong with being nice. However, when you compromise certain things like your values, your priorities, and your boundaries to the other person, it will ironically often make them less interested. For example, let's say that you make it clear that you don't eat shrimp because you believe that they're sentient beings. In other words, it's against your ethics to eat them. Let's say that the guy you like knows this and offers a nice shrimp cocktail to you anyway. Not wanting to turn him down, you eat them. This is being overly accommodating. In the moment, he may be happy that you accepted, but in general, you're signaling that you're so desperate to please a guy that you have no standards. Without having a sense of respect for yourself, he will lose interest quickly. But if you stop doing the things for him that you once did, he might start to take notice. Try saying no to him next time he asks you for a favor. 2. Let him know that you don't want anything from him. You know what turns a guy off faster than smelly breath or a bushy armpit? The weird sense that a girl is expecting something from him or wants something from him, besides just a fun, light-hearted connection. These ulterior motives can take many forms. Make sure that you don't secretly want to take advantage of his social status, his money, the fact that he's a good shoulder to cry on, the possibility of marriage. Sure, it might be normal for a woman to be attracted to a man partially because of his social status and success. That's just biology. But if a part of you is scheming about how you can use these perks, he'll probably sense it. Make sure that you are interested in this guy simply because you're interested in who he is. If you want him for anything else, he's sure to get turned off. 3. The importance of physical attraction. It's easy for people to say, it's what's inside that counts. Ultimately, this is kind of true, but it's also true that women tend to underestimate the huge role that physical attraction has for a man. Maybe you would date a guy who is just okay looking, and as long as he is confident and successful, you don't really care if he has a six-pack. The equivalent is not really true for guys. The first requirement for most guys is that you are physically attractive. Without that, you are just friends. Does this mean that you have to be a beauty queen? Physically attractive means something different to every guy. While your appearance is important, different men value different physical traits on a woman. Also, you don't have to be perfect in his eyes, either. You just have to be attractive enough to arouse him, that's all. What does this mean in practice? Well, consider whether your appearance has changed lately in a way that he may find unattractive. While it's not recommended changing the way you look just to appeal to a particular guy, it may shed some light on why he lost interest. Also, there's nothing wrong with relax a bit and ditch the frumpy sweatpants when you're around him. In the later stages of a relationship, your appearance will matter less. If you're trying to get his initial attention though, you'll have to consider these superficial factors. 4. Make sure he has a good time with you. Context is everything. If he's always in a bad mood in an environment he hates when he sees you, he may come to quickly associate you with it. For example, did you meet at work and he doesn't like his job? Why would he want to solidify his ties to his job even more by dating someone that he met there? So he can talk about work even when he's out on a date. Make sure that you see him outside of this environment. Invite him out somewhere as friends, where you know that he'll have a good time. If he associates you with a fun night out instead of tedium, then you're more likely to get his attention. 5. Invite him to go out. In a casual way, invite him out to interesting places. Take an active role in getting him to spend time with you and don't wait for him to ask. Many times, when we spend a long time away from someone in the early stages of romance, the feelings can kind of fizzle out. Keep his interest alive by seeing him regularly. Of course, this doesn't mean stalking him and always being around him. You do need space, or else he'll feel suffocated. Seeing him a few times a week is more than enough, but you might have to cut down your invitations if he's particularly introverted. 6. Improve yourself. Going out and having fun is only part of the equation, and it isn't even the most important part. When you make massive positive changes in your life as a whole, this is bound to get his attention. For instance, have you always wanted to be a world-class painter, and you decide to quit your job to pursue your art full-time? A bold change like this will attract the right people to your life. Similarly, have you always wanted to get fit? Have you thrown away all of the junk food in your house and started training for a marathon? If he sees you every day, or at least with some degree of regularity, he will probably notice what you're doing and be impressed. The paradox here is this: you can't do this in order to impress him, or it will backfire. You have to do it for yourself. Doing this type of self-improvement is a great way to use your time and energy for something that will make your life a lot better. You have to look beyond the outcome of possibly getting him and instead look at the big picture. A long-term focus on yourself is the way to go. 7. Date other people. While it's not a good idea to actively try to make him jealous, since it can backfire, nothing moves a potential lover to action more than seeing you with someone else. If he really isn't into you, then he'll probably be happy for you and not seem bothered at all. There's nothing you can do in that case. However, if he likes you, but was just kind of on the fence about dating you, he might suddenly be interested again when you're getting touchy-feely with others. People get filled with a sense of urgency when someone they like might be off the market soon. This will also show him that you are non-needy and that he's not the only one for you. 8. Meet him alone. If you only ever hang out in groups, there may be parts of each other that neither of you is seeing. These deeper pieces of the vulnerable self are what we're really looking for in each other when we make a connection, whether we realize it or not. People are often afraid of showing this side of themselves around other people, so make sure that you see him alone. Beware of the human tendency to see things as more valuable when they're harder to attain.